Okay, so, crazy thought. You're at a convention all about VTubers. That's pretty cool, right? But I'm sure you've heard all about the ins and outs of how it works. But I don't think you've heard about where we came from. So, let's get back to the roots and dive into the origins of VTubing. Yippee! So, today, I will show you VTuber history abridged. I might be missing information, I might be having too much information. We shall see, okay? I hope you learned something, but first of all, I suppose I have to say hi. So, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Lex, your half-koi turned magical girl, and the VTuber you'll be staring at for the next I guess 39 minutes now. Well, I'm an independent streamer, and most of my art sets are personally done by myself. And probably, hopefully, just like you, I'm a huge VTuber fan. I know, crazy thought. But during this panel, there will be a QR code in the corner, sometimes in the middle of the screen, most of the time in the corner. And you will be able to participate with me live. There's a couple questions, a couple trivia questions that you'll be able to answer. And get out your phone cameras, flex your score to the person sitting next to you. And without further ado, grab your light sticks and let's go. So, personally, the first time I learned about VTubers was when Hololive Myth debuted. Hololive English had a huge impact and introduced so many people to this new technology. But VTubers existed long before then. So, let's learn about the ancient history, the cave paintings on the walls. Well, I guess not that ancient, but Hololive Myth is just the tip of the iceberg. What if we drew a timeline? Wow, would you look at that? Thanks, Past Lux. I've divided this into 3 smart sections. We have the experimental area, the genesis of VTubing, and the COVID boom, which, you know, sometimes we have to make sure that things that are negative also have positives in them. So, let's go back to the olden days, before 2010. So, while there aren't really any VTubers that directly existed back then, we can still find seeds of digital puppetry all the way then. So, for example, inside of a theme park in 2004, Disney launched Turtle Talk with Crush. In its concept, you're able to go visit Crush, the chill turtle dude, say hi, and ask questions. It's not dissimilar to some of the meet and greets you've been to today, no doubt. And honestly, it's still running to this day. While he's not necessarily a VTuber, the program employs similar technology to it. And an honorable mention. By 2009, the internet birthed the annoying orange. So, I would like to ask you, let's see. We have, the trivia link. So, do you think the annoying orange could be one of the very first VTubers? So, you will see that if you enter the QR code, it might ask you to put in a name. Just be nice. So, you'll be able to participate now. This is your moment. I'm gonna give you maybe like 30 seconds. Every single question will have 40 seconds of wait time before the question resolves. I will tell you what the answer is afterwards, but before then, just make sure that you get in your answer because this is the only time that you'll be able to do it. So, I can count. Should I count? I'm not gonna count. I'm not gonna do that to you guys. But trust me, there's a handful of questions, some of which have a more obvious answer than others, but I do hope that you can still, at the end of it, decide what you think is right. So, I am going to start it right now. I believe people are still able to join midway through, and I see a bunch of you have already started to, slowly trickle in. So, without any more talking, you now get time to answer. Do you think the annoying orange is one of the first VTubers? Very simple answer. Yes or no? You'll be surprised, trust me. I think this question was probably the main thing I built the panel around because I know that it's debatable, I know people have opinions, but don't worry. There is a straightforward answer, I swear. You just have to trust me on that one for a little bit. But we have 10 more seconds. 10 more! You got this! Come on! Yippee! 4, 3, 2, 1. And the answer is no. In fact, I know some people would be very happy at this answer. Some people would be very upset. But at the end of the day, he is an online persona on his channel. but he more so runs animation content rather than VTubing. The model isn't actually tracked, it is just a face on top. So I'm sorry to say, no, the answer is no. But also, I kind of just put this question in because I like rage baiting people. Anyways, after that, we're entering the first proper era, the experimental era. As the 2010s rolled in, the tech started catching up to the dream we live today. In 2010, Live2D Cubism was first introduced as a software that could seamlessly animate 2D artwork into moving dynamic characters. Though it is mainly used for model today, it originally released with the purpose to simply animate artworks and was commonly used for game sprite animation. If you compare models from a few years ago to today, you'll also find that the complexity of rigging has significantly increased as people keep learning more about the program. And with constant updates, it has also improved model creation significantly. So, the very same year, visual novel maker Nitro Plus unveiled Super Sonico, who began uploading vlogs to advertise herself and her upcoming anime. Even if it was mainly advertisement, it still counts as among the first VTubers. Aside from that, there's more early examples as well that were not just corporate. In 2011, we have the start of a bunch of new VTubers. Virtual creators from this time were true experimenters, as technology was not as straightforward about it as it is today. Nor did any of the programs we commonly used exist back then. 2011, Ami Yamato, a content creator who used a fully 3D model blended into real-life vlog footage. She was one of the first to try this out, and also kept all of her videos immersive, never pointing out that she is digital. In 2011, the Orc podcaster, a World of Warcraft orc, reviewed MMOs and compared them to WoW, despite being a casual player. He used the standard WoW orc model, later upgrading to a custom one. Though he does not claim the VTuber title, a lot of people still count him among them. 2012, Weatheroid Type A Airy, the weather company Weather News Inc. introduced a Vocaloid-style weather anchor. That's a lot of weather. She would present the forecast and also later appear in a weekly solo segment on Thursdays. The underground indie scene also started slowly building its own path. In 2014, a creator called Eileen was making waves with early videos, a channel that would later evolve into the legendary Mariah Carey. But we'll talk on her more later. Though, before then, I have a question. What did Irie become most famous for? So, you can now look down at your devices again. Get ready, it's another trivia question. So, our answers this time are, number 1, bone fractures. Number 2, a high-fidelity 3D model. And number 3, the perfect weather forecast. At the end of the day, we all kind of wish it would have been any of the options, but sadly, there's only one of them that actually made her really shine out from everyone else back then on the internet. And I think it's really impressive to even know that all the way back in 2012, there were already the starting beginnings of official VTubers in official media. So she actually produced her weather forecast during a 24/7 live weather forecast show. And now that the question is over, I see most of you voted for bone fractures, which is actually correct. So this is actually a translation from Japanese because most of her fans, considering her main language was Japanese, were also from there. They would call them bone fractures as her motion capture software would frequently malfunction, twisting her joints in weird ways. So here's a couple examples. It is very charming, and instead of trying to hide them, she would very frequently embrace them, and so they became just part of her personality. Even nowadays, there's a bunch of clips made by fans and clip compilations of these bone fractures. So, next. VTubing software started appearing in late 2014 already, which is a long time ago. The now abandoned Face Rig released on Steam, allowing anyone with a webcam to try piloting a 3D and later available by DLC 2D avatar. The 2D DLC was actually also in official collaboration with Live2D, so they slowly spearheaded the idea of being able to use fully tracked live models. This made it more accessible for people to try out VTubing and similar technology. And look down again. I have another question. Which popular VTubers started their career using FaceRig? This is, I think, a little more obscure, but if you know about it, you know. So, here are our options. Number 1, Iron Mouse. Number 2, Kizuna Ai. Number 3, Gargura. And number 4, Kuzuha. I know these are, very different creators from very different times, but I feel like if you think about it, you think about it. It's actually kind of interesting to learn about these things, especially considering that FaceRig nowadays is abandonware. They have moved on to a new program, and FaceRig is officially taken out of the Steam workshop, the Steam shop. But back then, it did have workshop support and let a lot of people try out a lot of different models. There were even Vtubers that were using it for 3D tracking, such as specifically the dog model in it. So I see a lot of you voted Iron Mouse or Kizuna Ai. So the correct answer is actually Iron Mouse. So Iron Mouse originally used a free workshop model in FaceRig in 2017, and the free design depicted Toho Kiritan, which was an official Vocaloid character, but she also later went back and commissioned the original artist for her own design. So, with so much happening, I think it's time we entered Phase 2, the true genesis of VTubing. Up until 2016, no one had even heard of the term VTuber. So, trivia again, I ask you, do you even know where it came from? We have, who coined the term virtual YouTuber? I know these are a lot of questions. Trust me, these just tie into each other. It's very important. So get ready. Our options are Kizuna Ai, Ami Yamato, Eileen, and Irie, which at this point I feel like all of you have heard about every single one, but we are gonna go into more detail on them. Do not worry. I do think it's really interesting that virtual YouTuber was a term that just kind of got adopted. I don't think this is the most common thing that one person is able to start an entire movement for pretty much everyone coming afterwards. I think most of the creators from before 2016 just kind of called themselves normal content creators. So, and as we're about to find the answer, in fact, you're correct. It is Kizuna Ai. So, Kizuna Ai started uploading unscripted Let's Plays and blew up overnight, all while calling herself a virtual YouTuber. Her rapid success started a massive trend. So she was the very first one to ever say the words virtual YouTuber, and she stuck with it, paving the way for everyone after. She pioneered the VTuber format and also attracted international fans that then subtitled her content and furthered her reach outside of Japan. Her career laid the groundwork for future agencies, proving that virtual creators had huge potential. She debuted on November 29th, 2016, and reached 10,000 subscribers by February. Just a year later, she had grown past 100,000 subscribers. From her debut and all the way up until 2021, she was the most subscribed VTuber on YouTube with more than 4 million subscribers across multiple channels. But by 2017, Kizuna Ai was not alone anymore. The community crowned the 4 heavenly kings of VTubing. It's a term that originally came from Buddhism, referring to 4 powerful guardian deities who watch over the cardinal directions of the world. While in Japanese pop culture, it's frequently used to designate the top tier in media. It's kind of similar to the Elite Four from Pokemon. So, they now called the Heavenly Kings Kizuna Ai, Kaguya Luna, Mirai Kari, Deno Shoujo Zero, and Nekomasu. Now, I'm sure you noticed, I swear I'm not bad at counting. A running joke is that the 4 Heavenly Kings actually depict 5 people. To allow Zero to be included, Kizuna was coined the boss, as she single-handedly was the most influential one out of them at the time, and also kind of towering above them in a way too. Everyone associated had a huge impact, and were the most subscribed VTubers on the YouTube end at the end of 2017. Kizuna Ai herself had already reached 1 million subscribers, while Kaguya Luna and Mirai Kari achieved 6 to 100,000. But don't laugh. Even Zero and Nekomasu both amassed around 100,000 subscribers each, having debuted the same year, even just months before. As you might have noticed, a large majority of early creators used 3D models, which often required very expensive motion capture setups and also made it really hard to just stream out of your own room. So, come 2018, we have our first entry in VTuber corporations. Introducing Niji Sanji. Their focus was on live streaming utilizing live 2D models mainly, lowering the complexity of virtual content creation and also decreasing setup cost. With just a camera, talents could now just directly stream from home. Their plans began when Anycolor drafted ideas as an entertainment urgency a whole year earlier. Meanwhile, a small tech company named CoverCorp was building virtual reality and augmented reality software. Realizing how much potential was at their fingertips, they shifted their focus onto virtual talents. And their first talent was Tokinosora, spearheading into Generation Zero. The name Hololive has its own origin as well that not everyone is aware of. So, I ask you, what was Hololive in 2018? So, look down at your devices. You have another question ready. So, number 1, a 3D stream app. Number 2, a pre-alpha video game. Number 3, a voice bank software. Or number 4, a 3D motion capture hardware. It is a lot of very similar, but also very different options. So really think about this one. I don't actually know how many people I've met that knew about this personally, but this was even a new thing to learn for me and myself. So I swear, I don't think everyone's gonna get it. But 2018 is a long time ago for these corporations to have started, and they mainly just started in the Japanese area and only breached over into the English realm a couple of years ago. So I see a lot of people saying 3D motion capture hardware. Well, it is a 3D stream app. They wanted to make 3D stream apps and instead just later decided to change it. So Hololive originally launched in 2017 as Cover's 3D stream distribution app, but was later used to describe its female VTuber agency that we know today. So we have our last era, the final one, the COVID boom. This is kind of where everything got big. 2020 happened. The world locked down, everyone was stuck indoors, and VTubership absolutely exploded outside of its originally small niche. I guess that's what happens when you force a bunch of anime fans to stay indoors. This sudden boom cemented two very different paths for creators. Number 1, the corporate talents. Talent agencies like Hololive and Ichisanji leaned heavily into Japanese idol culture. Creators that did debuts, concerts within a professional work environment were introduced to the West. Hololive English had a huge impact on many people's lives and spread VTubing far further than ever imagined. Even today, they dominate the YouTube livestream space in both English and Japanese, having accumulated well over 90 million total subscribers across its more than 80 talents for Hololive alone. They mainly streamed on YouTube. On the other hand, you had the independent streamers. Many saw joy in using an avatar to livestream and jumped at the opportunity. They pioneered the just chatting meta and proved that you didn't need a huge budget to be a funny personality. So September 2020 marked a huge impact into the Western VTubing scene. But I'm also really curious if you know this one. Who's the most subscribed VTubers of all time as of right now? So, get ready, look at your devices. We have number 1, Gargura. Number 2, Hoshimarine. Number 3, the original Kizunai. And number 4, Thelian. These are very different creators, you know, some of which are independent and some of which are corporate. But honestly, I was kind of shocked too. I knew that, you know, we had a lot of very influential creators out here, but to think just how far they've come, it's pretty dang impressive. So you have 10 more seconds. Make sure that you answer, even if you're not sure of it. So, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have our answers. We have... Okay, most people did actually vote Gargura, with Hoshimarine in second. So, it is Gargura, which is kind of crazy. So Gargura is still the most subscribed VTuber with a crazy 4.6 million subscribers on YouTube, despite graduating in 2025. She hasn't streamed in over a year and is still the biggest and most subscribed creator on YouTube in terms of VTubers. But, more importantly, Hoshimarine is slowly catching up. But going back to Gargura, she was part of Hololive English's first branch, HoloMyth, which shattered YouTube records at lightning speeds. Their idols would move on to great success, solidified by both the timing and the talent's hard work. Every talent of this generation reached the huge milestone of 1 million subscribers in under a year. But Hololive wasn't the only giant moving west. To balance it out, Nichi Sanji entered the English market in May 2021, debuting their first wave, Lazulite, and bringing a more casual, chat-centric approach. Their debut song, Diamond City Lights, quickly became a fan favorite and sits at over 11 million views on YouTube today. Each one of them was able to rise to almost 500,000 subscribers in their first year alone. Their insane big hitter, though, was December that same year, introducing their first all-male group, Luxium, proving that male VTubers had the same potential in dominating global rankings as their female counterparts. Almost every talent of this wave achieved 1 million subscribers in their first year, and huge success on their music videos. Their debut single, Hope in the Dark, is still Nichi Sanji English's most watched video to this day. On Twitch, indies were preparing something big. Vshoujo was founded as one of the first major Western VTuber corporations. Now obviously it's not around anymore today, but they tried to do things differently. They signed established talent and promised corporate backing while the talents kept their intellectual property and creative freedom, which was very different from all the other talent agencies that tried to bring in new talent and having them debut under new names and personality under the corporation. This group dominated Twitch leaderboards and shattered records. Though indie now, they used to house one of the biggest Western talents today. Ironmouse shattered all-time sub records on Twitch with over 326,000 active subscriptions on Twitch in 2024 during her subathon. And she went on to win major industry awards and amassed over 2 million followers on Twitch. And on top of that, we witnessed the birth of absolute titans who truly did it their way. Legends like Code Miko, an innovative creator using complex motion capture. She shows a different vibe, not utilizing the common anime style. Bao, a whale-themed singer, originally had her YouTube career as a Yutaite, but since built her brand around her insane talent and unhinged personality. And also Fifi, who helped normalize adult humor in VTubing. They all started VTubing around this time. Many of the prominent figures in the scene are still active nowadays, a couple of which I decided to just put on top of me. They're all creators that I personally also look up to. Many of the prominent figures are still active nowadays. On the Vtuber wiki, there are over 900 Vtubers logged that all debuted in 2020. Almost 1,200 at its spike in 2021, and then slowly waning to 822, 723, and 24 each. This isn't even accounting for VTubers that didn't get into the wiki. This is only the ones that were able to be logged. VTubing has officially evolved from a niche Japanese subculture into a dominant force on both Twitch and YouTube globally. And now we're at today. VTubers are in countless mediums and continue to expand their influence. They have started breaking into mainstream media and achieved countless milestones. So, I have another question for you. Which brand mascot was an official VTuber? So, look at your devices for the very last question that we have today. Our answers are Tails from Sonic, Tony the Tiger, SpongeBob SquarePants, or Bubsy, which is a character from a game called Bubsy. Very, very simple answers, but I think this one was the one I got most excited for, trying to find all the information out about it. I think official brands becoming VTubers is the most interesting thing, and this is just the mascots. There is countless different brands like Opera or HyperX having their official VTubers streaming actively, and I think it's a good step. I see you're a little divided. Most of you vote Tony the Tiger, which I think a lot of people have seen. Now, would you believe me if I told you the answer was all of them? So, in fact, I put this trick question in because I couldn't believe it myself, but it's insane, isn't it? So let's move on, and I can show you. These are our brand VTubers. This is just a selection of the one that have existed throughout the years, but we have a very recent one, is Bubsy on the very left. This was actually run as a campaign with a bunch of VTubers that were sponsored to use the official Bubsy VTuber model. And they also had official videos run by the Bubsy voice actor playing as Bubsy. We have an entire YouTube series based around Tails being a VTuber and asking all of his Sonic friends for questions. We have SpongeBob and Patrick that I believe last year at the Super Bowl were official casters. And we had the Tony the Tiger VTuber that also decided to stream. But now, coming to achievements, VTubers have achieved so much, not limited to, but including winning Content Creator of the Year at the Game Awards, which is a mainstream event. We also have enough talents to warrant making our own awards that are hosted by Fillion. We have brand representation, where multiple talents have become official game ambassadors for brands within video games and outside video games. We have VTubers getting sponsored for things like official outfits. Think about Monster Hunter. There's been a bunch of VTubers that now officially wear Monster Hunter outfits, or become official game ambassadors for companies like Sega. Multiple talents have collaborated with restaurants or even joined pop-up cafes. There's been a bunch, and it is starting to not only be limited to corporate talents, but also reach all of the indie talents as well. I believe that the sky is the limit, and I cannot wait to see how far they're gonna go from here. They also dominate the music industry. Talents like Mori Calliope, who signed with Universal Music, and Hoshimachi Suisei both released major albums that reached high ranks on the Billboard Japan charts, and also competed with actual official, Japanese artists. Both corporate and indie talents have sold out entire concert venues and attract thousands of dedicated fans. If you really think about it, I know a lot of you today are here because you wanted to see your favorite VTuber sing on this stage. Some VTubers even have become official ambassadors for tourism in Japan, and VTubers are starting to pop up both at conventions and make VTuber conventions themselves. To think that there's so many fans to actually make running an entire convention around them possible is fascinating. From beginning to end, VTubers have proved to the entire world that you don't need a real face to make a real connection. But that's just where the history books end for now. The streams are still going. To all VTuber fans, thank you for being part of our history. And thank you to the ones that have paved the way for us. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something today, and I hope you enjoyed the trivia. Thank you. That's it. So make sure that you always value your Oshi, okay? They work really hard, and I'm really glad that I get to be part of such an amazing community. Okay, bye. Thank you. Bye.